We're back in Paris on Tennis Channel. Novak Djokovic has dropped just one set so far here in Paris, and now he is into his sixth French Open semifinal and joins us here on French Open tonight, presented by Lacoste. Great to be with you once again. So at this point in a Grand Slam, typically, is your game grooved and where you want it to be?
Yes, it's been a good tournament for me so far. Coming off from the Rome tournament win definitely builds my confidence to that extent where I want it to be. Of course, for French Open, that is second Grand Slam of the year, the most important tournament on this surface. So it is the Grand Slam that I never won, and that's where I have obviously extra inspiration to play my best tennis.
When you play the clay court season, do you work on things gradually during the course of those tournaments to try to peak here? Or you just come out of the gate and play as hard as you can?
Well, yes, you know, the Grand Slams are the four biggest events we have in the sport, so that's where you want to maximize your skills, your potential, and try to be in the top shape. And this is where you want to shine, let's say. But of course, I last year I got emotionally too involved in thinking too much about Roland Garros. And
Passing of your
yeah,
coach.
Exactly. Yeah, there were a few side factors that affected me mentally, but generally I think I wanted this tournament so much last year that I kind of compromised all the events before that, and I didn't feel that I was at the present moment and kind of committing and putting my maximum effort into tournaments like Madrid and Rome. So I think it was a lesson, it was an experience, and I learned from it, and now, you know, this year I wanted to, you know, dedicate myself solely to those individual tournaments and then think about Roland Garros when it comes to place. But answering your question, this is where you want to have a peak performance, yes.
So people tend to define great athletes by how they do against their rivals. Obviously, you've had a nice run against Rafa. Did that give you a little extra confidence coming into Roland Garros that maybe your game had peaked at the right time?
Yes, sure. I mean, I've played a great tournament in Rome, winning against 5 quality players. Each match was you know, more difficult, and obviously in the end, winning against Rafa is an ultimate challenge. We all know on clay how good his record is, and especially here in Roland Garros. So you know, that helped my confidence a lot, because winning against Rafa on clay doesn't happen too often, and I carry that confidence to Roland Garros, and I'm happy to see that I'm playing well, and you know, hopefully I can go all the way.
When you play against him on this surface, how different is the experience than it would be playing on a hard court or on grass?
Well, you know, his game is perfectly suited for this surface. I mean, he generates so much spin on the ball that you know, makes it very difficult for his opponent to you know, to penetrate that ball, or to, you know, you don't know if you want to get defensive or if, you take the ball early. So it's and you have a feeling that he gets every single ball that is directed his way. So that's maybe not the case on different surfaces, but here, you know, clay courts are the slowest surface we have in sport, and that's what the surface he grew up on, and it's where he's most dominant.
Assume you're happy with the way you played against Milos?
Yes, yes, I'm happy the way I've held my composure and mental calmness in the right moments, because I think that was the key of the match. You know, to believe that I will have the opportunities, and when they're presented, I should use them, because when somebody serves 220 Ks in average first serves and hits such an angles, it's very difficult to do anything with the return game. So very little opportunities, but I use them when it mattered.
So now you're in against Ernest Gulbis, who is a guy you go way back with into the juniors. You remember those early days in Germany?
Sure.
When did you guys first connect?
I think I was 15, 16 when he arrived first at Pilic Academy, and I was going back and forth because I already started traveling for the tournaments, and he spent a few years in the academy, and we practiced a lot with each other. We had 2 different surfaces, 3 actually. We had a carpet indoor, we had hardcourt indoor, and we had a clay outdoor. So depending on the weather, we would practice on different surfaces. So we know each other's game quite well. but obviously we haven't played each other for a couple of years now, and I've seen his matches here against Roger and Thomas, and he's in terrific form.
He said back then he knew you were special because he'd go back and, you know, be on a PlayStation or watching TV, and you'd go for a run or you would go out and practice your shots. But now he's sort of turned the corner. In fact, he said his mom told him just give up the game a year ago, and yet now he's putting together this good run here in Paris, and his game has changed. In what ways has he evolved?
He always had potential. He always had a talent and skills to be at this level, but mentally the things didn't get together for him. What I'm trying to say is he was not professional enough. He didn't understand the way he should be committed and dedicated to this sport on a daily basis. So now he has changed his approach with the help of the new coach, and obviously he had to do it in the end of the day, you know, regardless of who is around him, and he realized it, and the results are showing the benefits of that.
You have accomplished so much in the sport. What are the things in tennis that are important to you now?
The most important thing in tennis for me is that I enjoy the sport and I enjoy competing and being out there. You know, this is the essence of playing a professional sport at this point of my career. If I don't have that love for the sport and that desire to go out there and grind for every point, then, you know, what's the sense? So I'm enjoying it. I love it. I love traveling. More or less the same tournaments every year, but same places, but I do love this sport with all my heart. I have a great team of people around me. As long as it's like that, you know, I know that that results will come, you know, will come.
We've been here for 8 years on Tennis Channel doing the French Open. The very first year we did it, we always talk about this, we had a mobile studio, we drove around Paris, and you came out with your mom and dad. You were 18, 19 years old,
yes.
Did a great interview with us, and you could stand on the street corner and nobody really knew who you were. Could you do that now? Can you walk around the city and people leave you alone?
I walk around the city, yeah, sure. Maybe things are a little bit different bit different now, but you know, Roland Garros is a big tournament for Parisians, for French people, and they have a long tradition that they nurture, you know, of this sport, and they appreciate what their tennis players are doing. So it's great to be in this French ambiance, I would say. And I remember that studio, I remember that interview, and I think a Tennis Channel, I'm officially requesting from the Tennis Channel to get back and have a studio next to the Eiffel Tower.
A mobile studio, yeah.
Exactly. Maybe it's an extra cost, but I'm sure you'll find a way.
We'll put that into the suggestion box. Thank you, Novak.
Thank you.
Novak Djokovic back in the semifinals here in Paris. And we'll